travelers, welcome back to the Reverville Stan Airport. I forget. Too many different series is going on. I am Airport Manager Rever, and we are here at our airport. And I've let a few days go by just so that I think by the end of today we'll actually have some money. We're making some good money, and we could do better. And one of the things I've been looking at is our here. I'm actually going to do a little bit extra fast forward speed. Maybe we could spend a day together. So in the last episode, if you guys were watching, that's the wrong way. Go back up. We built this little bit over here. I guess, I didn't even look at what they did. Kind of a mess is what they made, right? So let's dismantle a couple walls here. It's not the stairs. I guess people will not fall down the stairs without a wall, right? So the idea would be that we would have an office up here. And I was thinking, and that's always a little bit of a dangerous thing to do. Now, I think I could do planning, right? And it won't show up downstairs. I don't think that color would be too good. Let's do, I don't know, let's do cyan. Right? I'm thinking this would be like, generally speaking, the area that we would have offices in. Right? Maybe even further if we needed it, though I just did a pretty big area. Now, can I do page down? Yeah, it doesn't show up. Good. So what I'm thinking of is, in the future, if we really get busy, this whole ticketing area, this whole area here becomes ticketing, including our security zone, or at least a good chunk of it. I'm not sure if I would leave some security here. I don't know that there's a way to assign the people that go through this security to go to these gates. These gates are going to be on the lower floor, all right, just because of the nature of the gates. And then, now we could possibly, I don't know, is there a kind of gate that we could do? Construction, objects. Nah, see, we just have this gate. It requires a door. Now, the other thing is we could go to the large gates, right? Like, these large gates actually don't really take up any more room than the small gates. So we could put all of these gates upstairs, right? Just because you have smaller planes doesn't necessarily mean that they have to go to smaller gates, right? So we could talk about that. Like, in other words, yeah, they basically take up effectively the same amount of room in the airport. If you notice, they're not right next to each other, even though these are a little bit bigger. They don't have the grass gap in between. So when it comes to placing them, in other words, they can't go any closer than they are. So the thought would be that what we would do is actually have our security zone upstairs, right? So right above here would be those offices in general, and then we would have like ticketing all down here, and then when you got down to the end, or however we wanted to do it, you would go up some stairs after you got done the ticketing, and then you would go through the security and they would let you into the terminal. Right? Now, whether you would have to go back downstairs to these gates or whatever, but then you would be upstairs in the terminal, and then we would dedicate like the whole downstairs to like people leaving, in a sense. So like, like this corridor could stay here, then anybody coming out of here, this would be for like people that are leaving the airport. At some point, we could even make a bigger baggage claim area that would be, just like better for that. Like, who knows how we could do it. We could do more baggage claim over here. Does that make sense? And we could even have like some stores and shops for the people that are waiting out here. They seem to want to sit an awful lot. And they do go to our little things, fairly often out here. One other thing that I did, if we come over to this tab and we go to the transports, I did change the buses to every 20 minutes. And the reason is this. Like, see, this is, the estimated capacity. And if imagine this was like down by here, like this would be like every half hour. So I think we really kind of needed the extra capacity at that point, right? Now imagine, I don't know if it's like, it would be kind of nice because the buses are drop off in demand, like is this the estimated capacity total with the drop-offs, and does that make sense? So you got the red and yellow equal the white line, fine, like the peak transit demand. Why, if the estimated capacity, I don't know, wouldn't it make sense to have that be, I think this green line, in other words, is comparable to the white line. So I think that's pretty good for now. But it's also saying that as we increase, you see that demand like here? That's an awful lot to be coming in at 1800. You know, like, so it's like we may not get all the people in because we don't have enough transport. But what that's also telling us is that we're kind of light at other points in the morning, right? Not nearly as much demand. So I think we can increase here. Now, I don't know if we would increase here, but we could, right? A little bit more later in the evening. So let's go take a look. That's kind of the main thing I'd like to do today before we run out of time. As a matter of fact, speaking of running out of time, we're just going to pause it because I just want to spend our time here for a minute looking at our schedule and seeing what we can't do. Now, can I make this a little bit? Yeah, let's make it a little bit bigger. And then, oh, no, that's nice, but I just wanted to, there we go. Yeah, let's sort of want to make it bigger so we can see it, but not so big. Now, can I go? Yeah, let's just take up like the whole thing this way, right? Hopefully we can see that way that much more, right? All right, so what did we say? We could definitely do more in the morning. And yeah, I see that this gate, this is a small gate. Now, what is this guy? 737. I think he needs a big gate, right? And then 707. 707s, what do they need? Yeah, where do we tell that? I think we have to go, okay, what is this? Filter. Okay, so that's for this top part. Yeah, where do we find this? I think over here, right? So, yeah, 737. No, you know what we have to do? We have to go into here. And I wish there was a little bit easier way to do this. So, see, there's 767. That's a pretty big plane. It's a nice morning contract, isn't it? We definitely need some more larger gates, I think. Let's see. Yeah, let's... is there a way to filter out which ones? Yeah, see, time snapping, schedule flights, edit mode. No. All right, so I was wondering if there's a way to more easily figure out which ones need which. Like, is this... Yeah, 767, that's definitely large. I think we could tell just by the volume, right? Yeah, 737. Let's see, you have... Let's find a 737. There's probably... Yeah, this guy has 5. No, none of them. Yeah, that guy has a lot of them. Yeah, 737. Oh, small gate. So we could move that 737 to a small gate, right? It might be, yeah, I mean, if we took this here, and then this is 707 should be smaller than a 737, right? 707 is like really old plane. Is this, yeah, which Spark Jet? Let's go look at Spark Jet. Can we? Oh, here it is. Yeah, we're looking at it now. Okay, so it's only, these are only ones that we don't have. Well, you know what? They have it right here. Sorry. Okay, so 707 is bigger, and it needs a large gate. But the 737s only need a small gate, which I guess makes, I mean, that does make sense. All right, so this needs a big gate. So let's put this guy here, right? We're going to start getting all of the ones that don't need, yeah. So this is going to need a large gate. Now, how about this guy? 737. Yeah, we could move him back a little bit. Can we get him up in here? Right, and then now we're into afternoon flight, so we just have to space out our morning. I'm wondering if we can't get another bigger flight in here. Now, how many planes do we have on this runway? So we only have, yeah, so 2 of our small gates have less planes, right? So what I'm thinking of is, I wonder if we don't take our chances on like this. Right? Because, yeah, this guy could come. Right? So these two gates have the same basic schedule. And then we would take these and kind of stagger them like this, right? I mean, we would have an open slot right there if this worked out. And then here's our bigger gate with the bigger planes. So let's just see. Are we already... Well, there's certain airlines, scheduled flights. I'd like to try to get them in. Like, you know, the more scheduled flights that we have with an airline, the better. Because then once we get to a certain number... Now this Leary... Yeah, they've got a bunch of smaller planes. Right? Like, we don't have to go nuts with them, but... Let's see, is the Dash... Right, this is 19 passengers, the beach. Yeah, the Dash 8 definitely could get more. Why run... Okay, why... I wonder why... Oh, min runway length is 90. Yeah, okay. I'm thinking that's like the number of passengers, but... Yeah, we could get that. Then what about this guy, Sparkjet? Does he have 767 large ones in the morning? Yeah, do we take their two large ones in the morning? Yeah, I'm thinking so. Let's go for the gusto. Let's see what problems we cause. Hey, we just spent all that money, right? Yeah, so let's... And then what I want to do is let's go back to... Yeah... Yeah, let's go back to... We don't have any of theirs yet. So let's go... Juno Connect. How are you? No, you got a large... Ooh. I'm not sure what happened there. A little scary. Yeah, so... 707. Yeah, I'm going to try to keep it smaller. I want to go back to... Let's go back to that Learnyville. And I want to get their AM, one of their AM dash 8s. All right, so Learnyville dash 8 is going to come in at this time. Right, and then the Spark Jets, they're 767s. And I'm going to get them right here. Yeah, how can we space these out so that they're... I think we could take... Yeah, right. Let's space these big ones out because they're going to be the problem. And then we'll work the other ones around that, right? Like we just really don't want these coming in at the same exact time. Let's move that guy forward. That's going to make the morning very busy. Right, and then we'll move this guy back to match that one. Yeah, let's see what happens with that. There's our morning schedule. All right, you can see why I paused time here because this, you know, I really want to focus on this and do it right in a sense. So now let's... there we go. So now what are you? Okay, you're conflicting with him. You're a morning biggin. Well, we can... What are you? You're an afternoon biggin, so we'll just give you a little more space, right? And then you are 737 could go to a smaller gate, right? So could this one? No, 707 is a large gate. Yeah, so what are you? Yeah, you're 90 passengers. Can we get you up in here? So this guy would need a large. This guy needs a large. You need a large too. So, all right, why don't we kind of do the same sort of thing where and I don't know if we're paying enough attention to the size of the actual plane flights. We might have to go back and go through that in a second, right? So I'd put this guy here. All right, with the idea being that this gate and this gate, they both kind of parallel each other. And then that means we would have you know, I think the possibility of putting in another flight, yeah, because we can move this guy back a little bit. Right, this guy could get staggered off of here, and then I'd probably stagger this guy back a little, and then we would look for an afternoon flight of a relatively big plane. These guys don't have any big planes here. Let's see, Sparkjet, 737. Let's go up here to the ones we already have a lot of, like this guy, Aerotime, 737. Yeah, let's move this over here because otherwise it's a little more of a pain to get to it. Beach, 767, 707. Right, this one's 180. Do we go for the Gusto at 767? I hope this is not going to cause... And one of the problems in this game, man, is if you start causing problems, you can cause some problems. There's no question about it. You know, like you get your airport all jammed up and you are just jammed up. All right, so now we have the evening. And I definitely think that some of these planes are a little bit smaller. Let's see about getting... Yeah, E95, that needs to get out of here, right? And so we're going to do the same thing. Let's tighten these guys up a little bit more. Right? And then we can have them sticking off the end there into tomorrow. And this guy could get... Yeah, we'll just make him the first... Alright, and then this guy matches that guy. Tighten them up a little bit. Yeah, and so let's take this guy and make him match like here for now. And then this should just be big planes. 707, good. I don't know that it is, but I just want to make it big planes, right? 737, Now, what are you? Yeah, so you're another smaller plane too. I'm thinking of doing something like this. Right? Let's jam these up and take our chances. Alright, so we just got one plane, bang, 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 like very little room in between them. Now, how much time do we have? So that's saying they have 2 hours. Or do they all have 2 hours? Let's do... Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's do less time. All right, let's... Yeah, there we go. Let's give them an hour and a half. And I don't know is it better to fill the whole time slot in or to give them an hour and a half, if you know what I mean. Right, so this is, yeah, an hour and a half. This is, what? Yep, hour and a half. I'm going to stop saying that each time. How's that sound? Oops, it moved again. Nope, wrong one. Right, and this one. Good, so that cuts down on their time in the airport, so we can kind of, like, I don't know how well that'll work out, but so now we just have big planes. Yeah, let's even give this guy a little more time. This is a 707. So we just have our needs large gate planes down here, and then we've got the other planes sort of jammed up. And I'm going to take a look. I don't want to sit there doing too many of those, changing them to a half hour or an hour and a half. But if this works out in the evening, I think I may start jamming up some of the smaller flights. The other thing to watch out for is these are not all created equal, right? Can we get an A320 out in an hour and a half versus, one of the other smaller planes like this Embraer 195, So, all right, so let's see about getting a couple more nighttime. Yeah, 76. Okay, you know what? We're going to accept. Well, let's. What do you have? You have a 707, and we've already got 7 flights with this guy, so I do like that. Appeals to me. All right, we have 5 with this guy at A320. A320, no, that's smaller. They're not small, but it's smaller. Right, and then you. Yeah, I guess it doesn't make too much difference. I'm just trying to stick with somebody who we can get more flights off of, so we can. So let's do 707 from Aero Time, and then we'll do 767 from a Ford Air, and that should be enough. And then we're gonna see how this goes. But this is definitely gonna increase our. Yeah, let's spread this WestJet out a little bit further. Yeah, and we'll have this guy coming in. Now, the other thing to do, and maybe I should just pause it for a minute, and do we want to make... Yeah, I think I want to go through and pay a little bit more attention to the time of these things. In other words, this guy has 2 hours, and it's a little plane, right? 19 max passengers. So, I mean, there's no reason we shouldn't, like, make that. So I guess an hour and a half seems to be, like, our minimum. And I'm wondering if I shouldn't... Yeah, anything that's, like, under 100 passengers, just come in here and get it to be smaller. So let me go through one more time. And I just think that that's getting a little bit less than exciting. And then I don't think I won't. I'll try not to change too much. I can't promise I won't change things, but I'll at least get the flights. And then, like with the 737, I'm wondering if 2 hours isn't like pretty reasonable. Or this is a E195, so this is like, you know. But then do we do like a little more time, like an hour and 45 for them, or something like that? Where was the 737? Yeah, see, so then just leave the 737 at 2 hours and then consider maybe even giving a little extra time to the bigger planes. All right, let me go do that real quick, and it might make it more visible on here too. So I will see you guys in a second. I like that a lot. It's definitely going to be worth doing, trying to keep track of all of these. I'm not sure well how you guys can see, but I can definitely see the difference. Any plane that's over 100... And we know now that all the ones that go to the small gates are the, quote, smaller type planes. So I can see real clearly that this is going to be like a 737 or an A320. So what we can do now is start taking a look at when those come in. So here's a bigger one, here's a bigger one. And there, you know, see we got like 3 bigger ones coming in the morning. Maybe we can space those out a little bit better against the large planes that are coming in down there. So like, in other words, like these smaller ones... You know, I'm thinking we can really jam them in, you know, pretty easily. Now, A1 might be a better gate to go to versus the other ones for these planes, but then maybe we take, like, forget what I was doing before, or do we? Yeah, like, do we just try to space this one out? Like, we could move this guy back a little bit, right? Because, like, really, this one... plus this one equals one of these. Now, again, I'm not too worried about the morning because, you know, like we're going to be able to handle a little extra because there's no lines first thing. In other words, we can get a few extra people in first thing in the morning, I think. Right? But I just want to keep an eye, like, yeah, and then just do we have all of the bigger ones come in on this runway, right? Just try to make sure they're not... Yeah, let's space these out so that they're not coming in at the same exact time. And if one of these comes in at the same time as this, like here, I think we want to get this guy out of the way, right? Does that make sense? Like, in other words, these little guys shouldn't be coming in if we have a big one coming in. Like right here. Yeah, that's getting awful close, but we can move this guy up, I think, a little bit. Right, get them out of the way. And then we sort of have a gap here. Boy, that we're really hardly even using this gate. And again, I'm not worried about the gates, right? I'm worried about how many people are slamming our ticketing and all that stuff. Though at the same time, it probably does make sense maybe to move this guy like down to here. Right? And then we can... Yeah, that's There's going to be a pretty big line right getting past here, but then once that clears out, you know, like this guy could definitely, yeah, I think I might even take this guy up a little bit, and then let's see what we have going on here. Like, see, there's a bigger one, bigger one. I mean, just by switching these two, yeah, I think I'd push this guy like further forward. Yeah, let's take our chances on this. These are two smaller planes, and then what that lets me do is push this guy up here, right? Because there's going to be a little bit of a lull around noon. Now, it's not bad to have a little bit of a lull at certain points, but that gets, you know, we've got a few of these little bit bigger ones, right, coming in, and I could space this out. Let's take this guy. See, I don't want this one coming in at the same time as this one. Yeah, that spark jet's before there. I'm thinking we take this guy and put him like here. All right, we could take that guy. Again, I'm not worried about the gates themselves, just sort of, I just don't want this well, you know, small, big one coming in the same time as that. But there we go. So then that spaces that out. This can, it's just a small plane. I think that, and I can fine tune this as time goes on, right? And then here's all small, small. So this is one big one or big-ish one. What are you guys? You're the smallest, and you're a big small, right? So then we just don't want, that's too, yeah, it's going to get a little bit busy right here. All right. And then, because this is another, yeah, we're going to be, let's just put these guys not, yeah, we're going to have a lot coming in right at that one time. We'll move this guy back. All right, let's move that guy forward. Let's move this guy a little bit more forward, right? Because we don't have, once we get past this big plane, then we'll have these guys coming in, and there's another, you know. Yeah, I think that spaces it out pretty well. You know, I'm a little nervous about all this. All right. Well, let's see what happens real quick. I will, you know, yeah, that should be our schedule for tomorrow. Let's keep our fingers crossed. We just definitely ramped it up. So let's close this. Let's hit play. All right, and is there anything else we wanted to do? I mean, we have a few bucks. I don't know, is the priority moving these offices or not? I definitely would like to consider getting another fuel tank in. Let's go ahead and do that, and maybe we'll do some research. And yeah, so let's go here. Objects, ops, right? No, utilities. Yeah, I think I was looking at the price of the big fuel tank's probably worth it at some point, but you know, at this moment, yeah, there we go. Oops. All right, let's put in another fuel tank, and then let's go over to our research and see. I'd like to unlock the light rail transit for 50 grand. Longer right trails, multiple drop-offs and pickups. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. Standby gates. What else do we have here? Hub boosters, advanced security. Lower property tax. That sounds like... Oops. Yeah, so that's queued, right? All right, so we just spent some money. and part of this, what we're about to do, what I'd like to do is do the be quiet thing. And I'm going to do the 4 times fast forward when I do the recording. And again, if you guys want to watch it in the normal time, I think it probably messes up the music a little bit, but you can turn down your volume at that point and you can watch it not, because for you guys then it'll be like whatever, what is this, how many times? Does it say? 12 times, and then it'll be 48 times speed, but you know, I think it works out pretty well. And then I'll just leave it sort of like this so that we can see what's going on with the planes. I guess we can go a little bit closer. You can see the nose of that plane, right? Yeah, I'd like to see the planes and the ticketing, right? Like we're just going to go through today. See how we're already a little bit busy right here? And if you can't tell that, we're a little bit busy. All right. Do we just keep an eye on the ticketing? Nah, I need to keep an eye on both, really. Especially if we start having problems. Now, it's going to cost us a little extra money for that fuel thing if it gets built tonight. So that's... Don't get excited if you see we go into the negative. Yeah, definitely want to be able to see what's going on here. Or do I just... I mean, we're getting close to what I could call an episode here. Do we just come back tomorrow and watch it? Man, maybe I like that idea better. Rather than fast forward, why don't we spend tomorrow together in the airport and just watching things, and then you get my excellent analysis of what's going on with that scheduling. Because that's definitely going to be a big boost to our money if it goes well, and a big nightmare if it... I guess we can always cancel flights if we have to, but that's like taking a step backwards. Who wants to do that, right? So in other words, so let me, keep going here, and I'll just fast forward to like, say, 6 o'clock in the morning when the sun comes up, and then we could just spend the day together in our airport in the next episode in nice, relaxed fashion. Sound like a plan? Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode, and there we go. We're at tomorrow. We got 19 grand left. Not too bad. That was a good estimate on how much to spend. So I will see you at 6 in the morning or tomorrow or whenever the next episode comes out. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.